And we are live.
Episode 3, Barstool TGIF. For those that might be new, might haven't watched the first 2 episodes, Clem and I, every Friday night, right around this time, 9 o'clock Eastern, we are going to run through old 90s shows, topics. We did Guts with Mike O'Malley. We had KFC and Tyler on for what started as Rock and Jock, which then turned into God knows what else we talked about last week. This week, we got Chief, we got Connor, we got KFC at some point popping in, it sounds like, to run through American Gladiators. And I said it to start last week with Rock and Jock. Gladiators kind of falls in the same category. This is all shit that was made for Barstool before Barstool, right?
Yeah.
Like somewhat sports, pop culture, a cult following. Like we would have had 19 bloggers trying to blog this.
Yeah, but you know what's weird? Like so much about a cult following. This was on so long ago. This was back in the days when, you know, some people still didn't even have cable yet. So there were only so many channels. So there were a lot more people watching this. I don't know about for you guys, but for me, it was Saturday mornings.
So that's what we were trying to remember. I distinctly remember, and Chief, I don't know if you're a Catholic too, but I know we're Catholic. I distinctly remember 10 a.m. Mass having to be like, come on, let's wrap this homily up and get out of here because of 11 a.m. start time for Gladiators.
No, that's exactly right. It was part of the Sunday routine for me. Like I got Ice and Laser and Blaze,
yep.
And all those people coming. They're going to start shooting tennis balls at each other at 150 miles an hour. I better be back on my couch ready for that.
This is amazing. And I'll tell you what, man, watching this now, I remember the arena feeling bigger. Maybe it was because I was 7 or 8, but it just felt bigger. And now I'm watching these clips and I'm like, it's just some studio in California.
So
I actually steroided out too. Look at these guys. They're just juiced out of their minds. It's
I saw American Gladiators in person. My dad took me when I was probably like 7, 8 years old. Hey, probably 7, 8 years old in Hershey Park Arena. And like, it's not a big arena. Like you can actually see like how much space they use. It's wild. Like you said, like you'd think they'd be playing in like Jerry World. They're not. It's everything's in this tiny thing.
Yeah, it's
Do
crazy.
You guys remember the old WCW arenas they used to have, and there was like 30 people. You go to WWF, you'd see these people in these huge arenas, and then WCW would be like 30 people in like Florida watching, and that's what this kind of feels like right here.
Right. And it's, well, you know what I think helps the illusion of it too is how they have the fans blacked out, so it feels bigger.
So I was reading on their Wikipedia what they did originally was to make it like a Roman Coliseum where they had like a dome set, or not a dome setting, but like a bowl setting. So you would be like watching down on the Gladiators. Then they switched it to be more like sports centric. I think I'm all in on the like Gladiator theme of make it as true to Roman Gladiators as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And going back to the point made about the fact that they were all roided out, it's funny when you're literally like, oh, wow, these guys are like unbelievable athletes and look at how big they are. And you don't realize, no, they're just a bunch of muscle heads and they're not actually athletic when you would see these smaller competitors beat them in some of the games that they would beat them in.
It was popcorn muscles.
It was popcorn muscles in the best way.
Well, it was like peak 90s muscles. Like everybody, they only worked on biceps.
I love that. You guys ever try to? They showed the one game where they had like basically trash cans with dodgeballs. It was like football and basketball combined.
Yep.
That was the game that was so easily recreated with your buddy in the backyard. So we would do that all the time. We would get a couple trash cans out. We'd have like 4 or 5 guys, and it was like, all right, American Gladiators time. Like who can get dunked the most dodgeballs or footballs or whatever we had laying around in that. So that was like that one. I feel like we did a couple other ones too. The joust, we would do jousting with we would take belts and put them on the ends of hockey sticks and we would joust with each other. Like creating American Gladiators was a great time for the neighborhood. Like when you're like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, like in the summers.
There are way more games than I remember. Like I'm looking at the list of games. You had assault, handcuff, joust, whiplash, tug of war, snap.
I just had to get the music on real quick. You guys hear the music?
Oh yeah.
Banger of a song. I mean, I'm ready to go through a fucking wall right now for this.
Thunder.
Look at that headbang.
Laser.
Like they're related. They're the same person. Like that Gemini is absolutely Mike Singletary.
Tower,
Oh yeah, 1,000,000,000%.
look at Tower. Tower had muscles that were bigger than all of us combined. He looks like Clem right now, just his bicep. Look at that guy.
That's not a real human being. Right
No, like the thighs are ridiculous too. Like I was expecting chicken legs on these guys.
I kind of Riggs. I want to know if you guys had the same issue I did. It would be, I don't know if it was before or after. It would be WWF into Gladiators or Gladiators into WWF, and I think it was Sunday morning or Saturday morning. Did you guys have the same thing? It was like that hour of WWF superstars into Gladiators. So you just had 2 hours of just guys, humongous people beating the shit out of each other. Was how you like kind of spent your childhood.
I don't think we had WWF. I'm trying to remember it was on before or after. Like I said, I definitely remember Sunday morning at like 11 a.m., but I don't remember what was on before or after. I know it wasn't WWF, though.
It wasn't WWF. Okay.
No.
That was hell of a 2 hours.
Not the wrestling guy. And when people would bring it up, be like, sorry, I'm into American Gladiator. I was like, that's fake shit. I'm here for the real deal. I'm here for American Gladiator. If you guys can have Hulk Hogan, I got Blaze.
You want to see people like get shot with tennis balls.
Yeah.
That was the game. The tennis ball, you're talking about recreating the games. The tennis ball game was obviously the one that none of us could recreate, but the one we all wanted to recreate very badly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That was the one that you would be like, okay, we'll just have somebody chuck tennis balls at the person instead of shooting them out of a like machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
Like we tried to do it with like the Nerf guns. Remember the Nerf guns that would shoot like they had like they're a little bit bigger than a golf ball.
Yep.
So if somebody had a finished basement, we would try to set that up. You move like the cushions or the ottomans around, duck behind chairs. But like it was never quite the same. Like the dunking of the little like the football basketball thing combined, you could do. Jousting you could kind of do. Although we had a couple of bad injuries with the hockey stick pillow jousting, but you're right, Con. Like that, trying to recreate the tennis.
I'm just picturing how you guys doing the joust with the hockey stick and like maybe it comes undone a little bit and you whack someone with an actual stick.
One kid got a cut like right underneath his eyeball, like the pillow fell down and you just caught it right on the end, like right there, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, he's bleeding."
That's funny to think about how many times you did stuff as a kid where, 1 inch one way or another and you could have lost an eyeball and you didn't even realize it at the time, but you didn't care either.
I DDT'd my sister onto like our backyard once and just like planted it perfectly. I was like, looking back and I was like, I was literally an inch away from fracturing her skull.
Like as a dad now, I now realize why our parents hated all these fucking shit. Like they hated
we're all
wrestling.
idiots.
Because we were like, that's how you end up with a dead kid, basically.
Yeah. By the way, Wesley Two Scoops Berry, the guy who's just on the screen, is the greatest ever competitor in American Gladiators history.
This guy who's getting the stick broken over his head?
No. They showed him. He's a coach.
Standing.
Yeah, he's the coach.
Okay.
Man,
just Google, bring up some Wesley Two Scoops Berry highlights. I guarantee those exist.
that is a hell of a name. I mean, I imagine YouTube has that. Two Scoops Berry there.
Jumps over a car. Jumps over a car. Kobe Bryant first.
It's right there, right then and there. Look at this. This is unbelievable.
Look at that hair.
I was gonna say.
Here we go.
I'm gonna say that's not him, is it?
That was him. He would make these gladiators and eventually became a host because he was so good. Look at the cowboy collar on that dude. That's so great. He's wearing a cowboy collar.
Like I feel like we should be watching him on The Last Dance, not watching this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's ridiculous.
What is he doing in American Gladiator?
He's been playing for the Bears.
Yeah. No, this dude, Wesley Two Scoops, he used to embarrass the Gladiators and he won so many times they made him a host.
Robbery, prison, that's not good.
That's not good, Cons. We got robbery and prison here, which that was the other thing. These guys always had backstories, which was always like, usually it was not guy getting thrown in prison or anything like that, but our guy Two Scoops here might have had some trouble with the law.
I always say whenever the conversation of American Gladiators comes up, I always mention Wesley Two Scoops Berry, and I feel like no one ever remembers him. Look at this.
This guy, and we talked about this on the
game. This is such a great game.
Yeah.
Which one's this one called?
This is Powerball.
Powerball.
I'm pretty sure this one's Powerball.
Yeah. Well, and like they like hit for real. Like football, form tackles with no pads on.
This like little helmet is all you have is these roided out monsters trying to take you down, which these guys you thought were like the greatest athletes ever, but it turns out, like you said, popcorn muscles. The guys don't have the agility as
Look at this, we had nothing for 2 scoops.
No.
If
13-4.
This looks like Barry Sanders in Powerball right now.
Yeah. So I would love to talk to an
this
American
guy's
Gladiators.
keeled over.
I would love to talk to an American Gladiators producer and say, like, what was the thought process on how you would bring these gladiators in? What was the criteria? Because it seemed like, are you good looking? Check. Do you have big muscles? Check. Okay, you can be a gladiator. And that was the extent of the interview process.
If not, are you willing to get big muscles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you do what it takes. Wink, wink to get big muscles. I think that's kind of how it all went there. 2 scoops, Barry. Shit.
Back to what Chief was saying about playing games in the backyard. The one that I really wanted to play was Human Cannonball, right? Like that's the dream.
Oh, the one where you were in the ball?
The one where you're on the swing and you're trying to like kick the gladiator off.
That was a good one. There's so many of these things that are kind of flooding back in my brain now. Yeah, see if you can pull that off.
This one,
I forgot all about this one. Holy
I don't remember.
shit.
Oh, wait. It's starting to come back to me.
Yep.
It's starting to come back to me. Yes, now I remember it. Look at these ladies too, man. They were very pretty.
They were yoked.
Yeah.
This stuff just started in someone's backyard, and then they brought it to a Madison Gladiator.
They're literally just kicking people
I
off of like
would
a
love
15
to
foot.
be in the writer's room for this game. Be like, hey,
Right.
game. All right, what if we have a guy swing on a swing for 30 yards and see if he can time it and knock one of our gladiators off a pedestal?
And we'll just call it Human Cannonball.
And we will give them a 1 by 2 foot pad with which to defend themselves.
And a helmet.
Those little coaches pads where you'd have to get a line and like give them a shot and keep running.
Oh man, you got to go. I think you got to go leg like feet out and just try to clock them right in the head. Just concussion city.
Oh, I kind of like the ass move. It didn't work, but if you have a big enough ass and you can get some movement going with it,
Yeah.
that might be the play. The one in the yellow here.
Got a boy KFC in.
What's up, boys?
Hey,
What's
what up?
Kevin?
What do we got?
This is Human Cannonball here, where you just go on a rope and you just go at someone with reckless abandon. I forgot about this one.
The good old days.
We're talking about being in the writer's room for how this came up. Just all right, hear me out.
Oh, how much fucking steroids was in this shit? Oh my god!
Somebody made a comment. More steroids on American Gladiators than the Oakland A's locker room in '89.
I was gonna say more than MLB during the steroid era, plus the NFL in the '80s combined.
The hair on this guy too. Got a blow dryer at home. This guy's unbelievable.
I saw a clip the other day of Jose Canseco at the plate, and whoever the announcers were talking about the steroid accusations, and the one dude doing color was like, "This is just unfair. These accusations are just ridiculous and unfounded, and I don't know why we get away with this." Like the coldest goddamn take I've ever seen.
Eyeball. Where right? Like humans don't look like that.
Dude, this is so hard, by the way, to withstand. If you're coming in hot, if you hit him square in the middle, no, am I wrong?
We were discussing what would your tactic be if you're the Cannonball, because like we saw somebody go just completely turn and went ass first into it.
I think you
Connor said he would go legs out,
legs out, and try to kick your head.
I think you got to go actual Cannonball and you put like your mass all together and just try to hit square.
Have you guys ever done a rope swing like this?
Yeah.
It's
into a pool.
Like a body of water. I it's almost impossible. You've seen like the fail videos of those girls who can't hold on.
Mm-hmm.
It takes an incredible amount of strength just to be able. I wouldn't even have a strategy. I'd be like, I hope I hold on.
Well, that's why you'll notice they have the little seat for them to sit on. They're not just holding on. You see that little like cylinder there?
You know what you gotta do? I think you almost got to try to grab on, like with your knee, like wrap a leg around them.
Yeah.
Pull them as you go back.
Yeah.
How pissed would you be if you're a gladiator and you're like, all right, your job tonight is to be like get it kicked from a cannonball?
Seriously.
How much do these guys make?
That's what I was just wondering.
That's a good question.
Oh, man.
Because like the winners got 10 grand from the season. So there wasn't a lot of money flying. Well, I don't know. I guess early 90s.
You got 10 grand cash for winning the half season finals. Then you got another 15 if you were the grand champ and you won it all.
Okay.
And then you get a Chevy car. And it changed throughout the years.
Season 2 of American Gladiators, the union upped their minimum for the Gladiators from $700 to $1,000 per episode.
Wow.
That's
not a lot.
I mean,
well, you gotta consider, like, what are these people doing on the side? They're probably working in a gym, or they're probably a failed bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So, $700 and $1,000 a pop for how many episodes? You figure there's maybe, I don't know, like 10?
I would say 16 episodes probably.
Maybe, yeah. So I mean, it's not bad.
Season 2.
Cons.
Oddly enough, they don't have season 2 here on IMDb. Season 1 had. They don't list like the number of episodes, but let me see.
This is a sneaky, difficult game, by the way.
I always love when they wrap the legs. It's like a spider in the web. You're like, oh, they got him, and then you just like, dude, just hang on 2 rings right now for like a minute.
It was a shock, right? Yeah, 19 seconds. All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you had to hope in this game. You had to hope the Gladiator made a mistake and went the wrong way, and you kind of could scoot around him.
Yeah.
26 episodes in a season. So
all right, so we'll even say 1,000. So you're making 26 grand as a Gladiator.
And they got to pay how many Gladiators? There's a lot of them. That kind of makes sense.
So you said season 2 they went to a grand an episode. There were
season 2 they went to $1,000, and there had 26 episodes.
Yeah, but that was also 1990.
Right.
There were 10 Gladiators in season 2. In season 3, you're up to like 14, 16.
Well, they're paying on decent money.
But you're not on every episode, right? I feel like Gemini's not on every episode.
That's a good point. That was a good point.
That's true.
Because they probably filmed multiple episodes in a day.
Yeah, that's true too.
So you're probably right on
Gemini
that.
was on. Laser had to be on every episode because that dude always shot everybody in Assault.
Assault. I mean, have we got there yet? Because Assault is the greatest.
No, we have not gotten through.
Oh, this game. I remember this one. This was good. We used to play this one. We would just do it on a baseball diamond, though. So on dirt, hard-ass dirt. That made no sense.
I don't remember this one.
Kev, we were talking about like shit you did as a kid. Like they would put like pillows on their hockey sticks and do the joust. Like, did you play shit? Like, I feel like Mama Clancy would just let you. You were probably the house where everyone went to just beat the shit out of each other and play.
I was raised by a pack of wolves. We ate whatever we wanted. We did whatever we wanted. It was crazy.
It was peanut butter. I listened to your meal time. Apparently, you do not eat peanut butter.
No, that's what's so funny is I love peanut butter. I just didn't have it till late in life because I was busy eating like donuts. Horse collar city with this fucking game. What I did.
This is basically Oklahoma drill.
It was just literally tackle the other person.
Yeah.
We did
great though.
We threw we were always pegging each other with shit. So we kind of probably had like a homemade version of Assault. I remember throwing darts and balls at each other and shit. I don't think we did. Oh, the one thing we did do, we had one set of boxing gloves.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say, and we did the same thing. Go ahead.
I mean, my brother at the point, he's 4 years older than me, but at the point we were doing this shit, it's like 12-year-old versus 8-year-old, 13-year-old versus 9-year-old, like a huge difference, And he hit a growth spurt, so he was like 6 feet tall, and I'm like a little kid. And we split up the gloves, and he was kind enough to give me the right glove. I'm throwing haymakers, and he would just sit there and just like jab me in the face, like nonstop. I probably got like 3 or 4.
They were like real boxing gloves. They weren't like the inflatable.
No, they weren't. Well, they weren't. They weren't like fucking legit, but they were like leather. They were not the sock and bopper things. They were.
Yeah, you're doing real damage with them.
That's Everlast gloves or whatever.
Not so good.
I'm showing my age, but Christmas of '89, greatest Christmas ever. I got a Nintendo, a He-Man sword, and boxing gloves.
How old
and
are you?
I'm 35.
Who remembers 1989?
Vaguely, I remember that Christmas because it was my greatest Christmas ever, and it still has yet to be beat.
You got 3-year-old boxing gloves. That was the best Christmas.
There's a picture. There's a picture of my dad giving me boxing gloves and a boxing thing when I'm 3 in 1990.
So is everybody? Clem, how old are you?
37.
I'm an old man.
I'm old man.
I'm almost dead.
I'm dead. This quarantine lasts like another 2 months, I'm just done. You know, I guess that's a good thing though. Do you get older when you're dead? Because then I'm just 37 the rest of like time, right? I just I'm dead at 37.
I feel like 37 would be a good dead age. Like to be dead at 37.
Would you rather win Guts as a kid or American Gladiators as an adult?
Guts. Bragging on the recess yard is way cooler than like going into your accounting job being like, hey,
exactly.
I want American Gladiators.
Although I think it's more of an accomplishment, but the benefit you get from winning is for sure Aggo Craig and Guts.
Not only that, but like more people remember Guts winners. Like when we did Guts with O'Malley, like we were listing kids like nothing.
Brian Beer was like my greatest KFC radio.
Right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Brian Beer.
I remember
Brian
that.
Beer second. None of that junior shit.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here it is. Here it is, boys. All right, the crossbow. When they got him with the crossbow, you're like, this guy has it locked. This guy's gonna win the whole show.
And you know what? When you beat a gladiator in this, they were fucking furious.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this when the dry ice like we get spit in their face and it just like, blew up all around?
Yep.
And also, it's like I'm gonna get a chance to like blast this guy with a 120 mile an hour tennis ball. And then if he beats you like early on, you're like, "Fuck! I didn't even get my money's worth."
Laser. I told you, Laser always fucking shot at this thing. This is like his one thing that he did.
I honestly, if I could like do one thing for a day, we should try to find a way to like rebuild fucking this thing. Because I mean,
absolutely.
How much would you pay right now to be able to like play this with your buddies?
Oh, so much money.
A few $100. I would drop a few $100 to go do this for a day.
Like do it like via bachelor parties and shit like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Like
And
instead of paintball, do this.
Right. And I'm not exaggerating. I do believe they used to say that these balls were going like, I don't know if it's true or not, but didn't they say they were going like 120 miles an hour?
Yeah.
It was like in wrestling when they could be like 7 feet tall, 350 pounds from like parts. I'll give you this is good news, Kev. Forget about how much we would pay to do this. How much do you think Portnoy will pay to do this to us? Because he'll just buy one of these just to fucking light us up, right?
He'll put it in the office and just shoot you while you're at your desk.
How pissed would he be though if somebody hit the target on him?
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Would that be a better accountment than winning Guts as a kid?
Hitting the target on Portnoy?
Yes.
That's one of those things. Like God bless. Like I don't even think I would. I wouldn't even want it. You know, that would be terrible.
The catcher's vest.
Yo, let's talk about that for a second. They're wearing like a wrestling singlet to compete in. They got a catcher's protective chest protector there. And in the one game they're wearing lacrosse helmets. It's pretty funny.
You just go down to the Sports Authority and pick up whatever they need to do.
Yeah,
it's literally like we said. It's just going in your backyard, being like, "Well, I found this in the garage. That'll work." Let's go.
You think these gladiators fuck? Like you think they were like hot shit?
The gladiators?
Yeah, like they go out. Like I'm assuming this was filmed in like LA, right?
Yeah.
Like hitting the scene, hitting the bars in Los Angeles, being like, "Yo, I'm Laser." And or do you think these guys were like loser jocks?
Somewhere in between. Like they probably had like a certain spot that they could go and be stars. But if they ventured into Hollywood, probably not.
They could fuck out,
yeah.
Was this big in the culture, or was it just big with people our age? Like if you were 20, were you watching American Gladiator?
Good question. I'm gonna say no.
Good question.
I feel like when they did that reboot, I remember being so excited for it. And it's just this is the perfect example of things that like some things just can't be recreated, you know?
Yeah.
Like they did the same exact shit with the same type of people, and like I think Hulk Hogan was involved. It was like
Hulk Hogan and Layla Ali were the hosts.
But it just I don't know if you needed the 80s vibe or you needed like something about it, but it just did not work again.
Here's what I think it was, as you're saying that.
That guy is fucking when you get hit in the ass for point holy shit.
Here's what I think it was. I mentioned this earlier. When this was on, there was just a lack of other things to watch at the time, especially on a Saturday morning. We just didn't have options. When they brought it back, I was excited too, but then I realized, wait, I have so many other good things I could be watching right now. So I'm gonna check it out and then I'm done.
Yeah, 2008 is like you can watch some real TV at that point, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
They should.
You have the internet too. So the internet, you're just going on there instead of watching American Gladiators for an hour or whatever.
They should have never made it prime time. You're right. If this was Saturday morning, although again, I don't know. You know, it's like
I'll tell you what, slap this on Sunday mornings now. Slap it on before football.
Like I feel like that's when you watch this kind of shit. I don't know.
Yeah. I also think just real quick, I also think this might be a little too niche, but I think at the time, in the 90s, the very early 90s, when these guys with huge muscles, that was kind of like the rage, and the chicks with the big fake boobs and the bleach hair, that was big because of Baywatch. So you had all these people on TV that fit all those profiles. Now, like, that's just not in. Like, it's you don't see like the coolest people in the world walking around looking like bodybuilders anymore.
What if you could gamble on this? Do you think people will watch though?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right.
And so it said in August of 2018, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg they said they were planning to bring it back for 2019-20. I don't know what happened to it. Obviously, that never happened. But
I'm surprised that, like, if you put on NBC Sports at any time, they have like that American Ninja Warrior, which is like just this without defense, and that's still, I feel like people.
Yeah, you know what? If people are willing to watch guys fucking just run up a wall and all that, they'd definitely be willing to watch this. No.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch this or like adult Global Guts than the American Ninja Warrior.
There was a time at Barstool where a certain leader of the Bubbly Gang was kicking around an idea to basically do like adult guts, like bring back a game show. It was right when what was it called? Spartan Race and all that shit was popping.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea was to have like a outdoor, half American Gladiators, half adult guts, half like Double Dare with an aggro crag type of thing. And it would be like, you pay, a couple $100 or whatever, like we said, like bachelor parties and shit like that. And I mean, it was way too early at Barstool. We probably could pull something off like that more now than then. But the liability issues and shit like that are through the roof. But
wow.
Eliminator. Where does the Eliminator rank on like finishing events in game show history?
I mean, it's right there at the top, I think.
I think it's the most forgotten about one.
yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you remember the individual games. The only thing I do remember though is when you had to run through the paper and you either had a Gladiator with you or you didn't. Those guys smoking it.
Yeah.
I remember the net because everyone would get stuck in the net.
The net is not easy.
I would love to do this. I would love to do this.
I would be terrible.
I don't think I would finish. Like that turning log, the spinning log there, whatever that is.
You gotta be moving for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta climb over the thing.
I remember that one. I remember the treadmill. They used to start with the treadmill then at one point, right?
Yep.
Yo, this guy's awesome.
Oh, there's no gladiators at the end? Oh, they took that out.
That has to be an original
I
one.
need a final boss to like
I'll
pop
see
up.
if I can find an old school one.
I actually did one of those Tough Mudders one time. That shit was fun. Doing all the different obstacles and all these things that are kind of like on this final thing here. It was actually a lot of fun.
How many miles was it total?
Like 12.
Yeah. No,
That's too much, yeah. I did a beer run once for like 3 miles, and I was like, that's enough.
Yo, hold on, time out. I forgot. Dan Deerdorf was one of the commentators. You guys remember who Dan Deerdorf was?
Yeah.
Didn't he one of that too?
Yeah.
It was Larry Zonka, Joe Theismann. Like, they had a cast that went through this.
That's so
I don't know
great.
what those guys made for this. That was probably where the whole budget was for those.
Probably.
Yeah. Like, wait, you want me to commentate on what? All right.
This is the Eliminator I remember, where you started with the treadmill into it.
They had the bicycle thing. Wasn't there one where you had to like there was the rings or whatever, like in the middle of the Eliminator, no?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Uh-oh.
This was tough too. You had to climb over the wall, and people would get stuck up there occasionally.
The second wall.
This guy's in trouble.
And now he has a gladiator maybe waiting for him. Oh, this is a comeback. Come on, Red.
Oh, the big.
Oh, the ball. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this doesn't have the
Yeah, they had a bunch of variations, huh? I don't remember that.
So it's on their Wikipedia. I pulled it up. There are like 5 different Eliminator.
The Eliminator. The thing is, aside from where if you did the one where you were running through the gauntlet, there's no gladiators. It's just contestant versus contestant. I think that's why it didn't have the same, because nobody gives a fuck about the contestants.
Right.
They want to see the roided up freaks.
Yeah, I'm pulling up now where there's definitely one where the Okay, so Clem, it was between 89 and 91 where they had a choice of 2 corridors with a gladiator with a blocking pad.
You know what I think the difference is when you relaunch it? I mean, not to besmirch the good name of the Hulkster, but I don't know if that – like I think the host matters more now.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate credit, but if you had Portnoy on the call the way he does Rough and Rowdy, if it was Dan and Dave doing it, I feel like that would be the hook. Yeah.
Take out Barstool. Who would be we asked this about Rock and Jock last week. Who would be the ideal host for a 2020 American Gladiators?
I'm inclined to say TJ. TJ.
Yeah. No, you can't because he's the challenge. Like you can't.
Yeah. No, I know.
You can't have that.
I don't know about the host, but I would love to have crazy ass Jose Canseco involved somehow.
Yes.
I gotta have. You know what? My answer is the greatest baseball player of all time. It's Brady Anderson. He needs to be on there.
Give me Albert Bell, Jose Canseco, give me all the roided up guys from the 90s, and they just do like the Tony Saragusa shit. They're just like down there.
Wearing a pea coat.
This always cracked me up. The points, like they were totally made up. It was just like, I don't know, 60 points to the winner and 35 to the loser.
But then they had it like a real tournament. Like you, based on how many points you got seeded, and then they did a tournament for the season champion.
Unreal. Ursula, watch out.
Yo, so I need to know though, like what were you doing with your life if you said, you know what, I'm gonna sign up for American Gladiators and try to do this shit?
Don't hate because I'm
not hating. I'm asking.
American Gladiators in 2020, you would fucking dump back.
Yes. But that's having lived through American Gladiators. I'm saying these people, like, what were they doing with their life that they said, all right, this is something I want to do?
They're thinking Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're thinking like I'm gonna be in action movies. That shit was so big back then, like you said, to be big and to be like roided up that I feel like they probably
Ursula.
Not a good start.
Oh, this is I remember this one.
Yep. This is the original, right? Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Here's a question for you. Would you rather 2020 American Gladiators reboot or 2020 Most Extreme Elimination Challenge reboot?
What's that?
You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you guys don't know Most Extreme Elimination? It was on Spike TV with the Asians doing it. And they would just get it was like this, but like mocking them and being very funny about it. That is it's like Jackass meets Japanimation meets American Gladiators. It was so fucking funny.
KFC, I think that was just like a real show with American commentators like dubbing it over.
Yeah. And they were just doing it, and we would just mock them openly. I remember the guys on Spike TV would be like, "Oh, hello, how are you?"
Very problematic.
Yo, but what was funny was when you would listen to the actual Japanese commentators, and obviously you had no idea what they were saying.
It was so infectious. It was infectious. It's like when you listen to soccer, like a Brazilian soccer now.
Right.
They're bringing back Wipeout. Remember that? That was like the pussy version on
Wipeout sucked.
Yeah, they're bringing that back apparently though.
Joe Theismann.
Yeah, look at Joey. Holy shit.
Here's one. Would you rather have 2020 SlamBall or 2020 American Gladiators?
I didn't get it. If you ask me right now, would I rather regular sports or SlamBall come back right now? I would take SlamBall. SlamBall is the most underrated thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. That should have caught on as a real sport.
It should.
I remember when I saw that the first time they like showed commercials for it, I'm like, oh, the NBA is dead.
Between that and the And One tour was kind of like around the same time. I remember thinking like, who needs real basketball, dude?
SlamBall had the best names too.
What were they? I don't remember that.
Riders, Mob. I'm trying to remember like one of my first ever like fantasy football team. You had to be a SlamBall team.
Look at this shit.
Bandits, I think, were one.
Look at this.
Oh,
come on. That was like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. That was so fucking cool.
God
So it's
damn it.
I remember, how about when the assholes would like shoot jumpers? Like, get the fuck.
Yeah. So it was the first season was the Rumble, coached by Coach Carter, Diablos, Bouncers, Steel, Mob, and Slashers.
Love it.
They eventually got
watch One Tree Hill.
I was just gonna say, dude, this is the game that revived Nathan's career.
Yep. And then I watched the behind the scenes of like them filming that show, and then it was part SlamBall as well. It was a lot more physical than I remember. People like there was like a hockey element where you could get checked, and like people got laid the fuck out. I don't remember that when I was watching it, but you could get hit in this shit.
What channel?
Legs, shit.
What day of the week was this on? I don't
It
even
was
remember.
like Wednesdays at like 11 p.m. on Spike. Yo, that's a dope dunk. I don't give a shit if you're on trampoline or not.
I didn't realize he put it through the legs like that. Like when you said it, I'm like, oh, he must be behind me somehow. No, that happened in real life.
Yo, you let me be the commissioner for 1 year. I'm fixing the dunk contest. There's an element of SlamBall, like not for the dunk contest, but there's like a trampoline, like maybe the first night we're doing trampolines. And if you've seen some of these fucking the amateur dunkers on now, if you did a pros versus Joes, real NBA players versus some of these like street guys, and like there was a potential for like a regular guy to win the dunk contest or beat these pros, they come up with the coolest shit because they just sit around doing dunks. They don't have to worry about their actual career.
Mm-hmm.
But stuff on the internet now is sick.
Yo, what if you also did a dunk contest, but with the mascots where you could use trampolines?
Oh, like the Phoenix Suns gorilla.
Yeah, you just want to watch the gorilla dunk, is all you're saying.
No, because I feel like there's so many other teams that have mascots that could be athletic enough to do that.
Any of the both.
That was the most masculating thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, run that back. Run that back.
Big O. That was like Oliver. First of all, this guy hitting a fucking like Steph Curry shot in SlamBall was just like not a big deal. Like no one even like blinked an eyelash. I'm like, look at this guy.
He throws it.
Like it's a full head of steam. Oh boy. Unreal.
Yo, the list of coaches in SlamBall when their last season, Coach Carter, Kenny Anderson, John Starks, and Rocket Ishmael.
What?
Yeah.
Rocket coaching.
You to yourself. I mean, this is so awesome.
Dude, he's got a do-rag on. Or no, it's a helmet. Okay.
No, they wear like the rugby helmets.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, this
is so good.
Whoever came up with this, like, found a way to bring NBA Jam to life. These are the Boom Shakalakas. These are
Wow.
The first year, I couldn't believe how
lights out.
How did this not make it?
it only had 2 seasons, 02, 03, and then 08.
You know what it is? Like this probably, I think the thing about this was that they made it more like a TV show than a sports league. And so they probably looked at like ratings and they were like, you know, a rerun of fucking an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie gets better ratings. But if you got some asshole, if you got Vince McMahon to fund this instead of funding the XFL, I honestly think this has a better chance than an alternate football league. I don't think like will ever work. But I there's enough people from our generation who think of SlamBall as like this fucking mythical thing.
Just get any like football player that played high school basketball. That's who needs to be in SlamBall. No one else.
Yeah.
What's that term in the summer? The TBT? Like that?
Yeah.
This is better than that shit.
Yeah.
Right. And like the TBT is blown up because they do it the right time in the summer. If you played SlamBall in the summer, are you watching this or a July baseball game?
True.
If you try to do an alternate league that's like you're actually trying to beat one of the major 4 sports,
You never will.
Just take a step down, turn it into an entertainment thing, and turn into a fucking circus act. And I'd watch that like before I'd ever watch a fake real league.
Yeah, it felt like the XFL this time around tried to do more of that. Whereas I remember when the XFL first came out, they were doing crazier shit to where they were trying to go against what they were doing in the NFL. Yeah, they had some rules changes in this year's iteration of the XFL, but it was definitely felt more like it was trying to be an actual feeder league.
I think that this time around was the most successful early on, right? And then they just got fucked by quarantine.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, it seemed like it was going to last.
At least, well, they were funded, I think, like through like at least the first season. They were like supposed to be guaranteed. Oh shit! We punched it over the backboard. Is that what it was?
I don't understand how is there a slam dunk contest in SlamBall and I never knew about it until just now.
I actually didn't know that either. That's crazy.
It's like, forget about the rim. We're going over the fucking.
I honestly thought he got like double bounce. Like, remember we had the trampoline?
Oh, yeah.
So
we had a trampoline growing up with the basketball on it, and it was a decent sized trampoline. That's all we used to do, was just make my little brother double bounce him, and another one would just tackle.
The biggest moment of trepidation I've ever had when I'm like a kid is the moment you get double bounced and you feel like you're too high and you're just like,
no, you start swinging like you're waving those arms like, wow.
100%. That used to fucking terrify me.
Because you're like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to feel like this.
Yeah, that guy was a good like 40 feet off.
Right. He jumped off the high dive. Like, that's what that was.
You know who's never felt that feeling, Kevin? That guy has never felt that feeling that he was scared of being too high. He was in fucking Neptune.
There was a kid in we had a neighborhood with a bunch of fucking trampolines, and there was this kid Corey who used to do full body flips, like he wouldn't tighten up into a ball. He would keep his legs all the way out and just flip.
That's wild.
Completely like that. And it was terrifying. I would never do that shit. You
We did.
probably work as trampolines?
We had the circus come to Chicago. It was in Soldier Field like last February, and we had just started full time. And so we were just saying yes to everything. They invited us out. They're like, "Do you guys want to learn how to do like these professional trampolines?" So we're like, yeah. We were there for like maybe 20 minutes, and they were like, "All right, now you're gonna jump off of this platform up onto this like other like 15-foot high thing." We're like, "We're good. We're not trying that." But it was like you definitely got that feeling you're talking about, Kevin, where it's like, oh, way too high. It was like the padded, like these, like the wrestling mats, like
it's just about being like a human. Like, we're not supposed to be that high off the ground. This is not normal. I feel like when Chicago started, you guys came in hot. And like you said, we're doing like every physical challenge. I remember, didn't you like fuck your shit up? I feel like every other time I turned around, someone in Chicago was either injured or out of gas or like.
I mean, we're just all like, I think the youngest guy is Eddie, who's 30, 31. We're just all like, one of us is always just banked up. Like Carl might have a torn ACL and is riding his bike all the time. Dave's arm, like he didn't lift his arm after like the merch thing.
Yeah.
For like a month. So somebody's just always, and I had the pond hockey. We're just too washed up to be doing any of the physical stuff.
So this was on CBS. How did this not work? Look at the corner. There's a big yellow CBS Sports thing.
I remember the dunk contest. The league was definitely on.
It might have been, but this is on CBS Sports.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What I would love to see is like, and they would never do it because it's obviously too much of a risk, but like if you took a Vince Carter and then gave him a trampoline, I mean, how high could this guy go? He'd go like 100 feet in the air.
He'd jump over 4 Frederick Weeses.
What's sick is that like that guy just kind of did like a dope like through the legs thing, and like I've seen some guys do similar shit like that just on the regular ass ground.
So going back to American Gladiators real quick, because this shit blew my mind. I didn't know about this until I was just researching for tonight. Second gig ever? Who's that right there? Ryan fucking Seacrest. Got his start on Gladiators.
No way.
What year?
1990.
He was kind of bigger there, no?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Seacrest in sauce for a little bit?
He was on the Gladiators. He had
Gladiators 2000. 1994, this came out. Gladiators 2000. And it's Kids Gladiators.
Kids Gladiators.
Kids?
Dude, that's not Ryan Seacrest. I don't believe it.
I mean, this is the thing. You go to the Wikipedia page, you believe it there, because I went there and I was like, there's no way this is real.
I mean, that's Ryan Seacrest.
So then he was doing this shit before he did the American Idol.
So he started in 93. He did the ESPN Radical Outdoor Challenge, which I guess we can look up next. And then this is the first. He hosts this from 94 to 96. Wow. Wild Animal Games and Click. I don't know what the
always
fuck those are.
in the hosting game, huh? Just like
that's not a bad deal. Like I would host everything.
Is that clearly like the greatest way to make a living? You look at guys like Alex Trebek, Chris Harrison, guys who are career hosts.
Guys are different. Game show hosting is different because like I feel like game shows are like college basketball, where like It's not about the contestants. It's not about the players. It's about the coaches. It's about the hosts. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's like you got to be a part of the game. This shit where you're just like, let's talk to this contestant. Like, tell me I mean, not to say I don't like what he does because he's obviously there's a reason why he's got like $100 bajillion. But I think if you can master that, I've always said if I could retire from Barstool when I'm done peddling smut and just do something like that on like E! News, be like, so here's the latest gossip. Oh, it'd be fucking money.
I'd want to do a game show. Like I'd want to do like a Stump to Schwab. I want to be Schwab. I want to do Stump to Schwab, but I'd be Schwab.
Yo, you gotta have like an extra chromosome. You gotta like Frank the Tank has knowledge, but then there's something in that brain of his that's like.
I want to do that, and then I want to host like this. Like I want to do the reboot of American Gladiators or Guts, where I just have to do the intro and be like, "All right, next game, the wall," and then pass it off to whoever.
Harrison has the best one.
Yeah.
He goes out for like 4 seconds an episode, just like really, and it's like, "Oh, I'm not great, Chris," and then he goes backstage and was like, "Oh, this is your last role," and that's it. That's the easiest. He's making like millions of dollars a year. It's fucking insane. He's
probably got like
5 seasons,
right? He's probably like a part owner or whatever. But
I think he was like a local news sports guy, like in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
it's something I could see that
story like that. So
this is Seacrest right here. This is Seacrest in this video right here. This is Seacrest. This is what he was doing. 1-800 Big Dork, and then 9 years later, he's doing American Idol, and now owns the planet. It's crazy, man.
So I wonder though, like with Seacrest, when he's doing all these weird shows and odd jobs, is he just going paycheck to paycheck, scraping by, or do you think he's making a decent living?
What you're telling me is this was like a systematic like attack of him. Like I'm gonna get the best hosting gig in America by doing the first 10 shitty ones, so I'm ready to. So I got to start hosting shit now. I got out of this environment. Fuck.
Kev, you're behind the eight ball,
Michael Malley said. Yeah. Like Michael Malley before he had Guts said he did. It was like what, like a picture one on Nickelodeon? Isn't that what he said, Clem?
Yeah, it was. Get the picture.
Yeah.
Picture this.
Picture this.
Picture this. That's what he started. And they were just like, "Hey, we have this new show, Guts. Are you interested?" He's like, "Absolutely."
But you're also being like Michael Malley made it when he was on Guts, which is
Michael Malley made it when he became Jimmy Hughes, which is the peak college TBS show of yesteryear.
So for my money, we were saying before about the Eliminator being the most underrated. I think Double Dare Final Course is the number one. That gets my attention every
That's
single
the number
time.
one?
That's my number one.
Would you rather dig through the big nose or be in the pie pod?
Oh.
If like my family's life was at stake, put me in the pie pod because the nose and the sandwich, just complete panic mode sets in if you can't get it on like the first 2 pulls, and you're just swimming in fucking hell.
When you would watch someone struggle on the nose, it was like, oh, just put him out of his misery.
Yeah.
Yo, you think these two ever fucked?
Oh wow, yeah, definitely.
I think Sam and Clarissa had to get it in at some point, right?
Had to have.
They were like teenagers on the show together, and like, or maybe not fucked, but they like hand jobs or something.
Yeah, I'll settle on that one.
That's a good-looking kid, man. I bet you he got the job done. Where's he? What's he do these days?
That's some amazing '90s hair too.
I was just gonna say, look at that flow.
So much gel in there.
That's not bad hair for right now. I would take
that in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, was everyone fucking on Saved by the Bell back in the day, right? I feel like all those kid shows, everyone was fucking.
Zach Morris ran through them all.
Zach said when we interviewed Mark Paul Gosselaar, he said that in real life he dated all of them at one point.
Really?
I mean,
the craziest thing.
Or Lisa.
The craziest thing was Mark Paul Gosselaar when he was like, I'm not that cool. No, bro. You're fucking Zach Morris. You're cool.
It's an important thing to remember. Like his fame was not current at all. He blew up after he was on the show. And he was like, you have to remember that all the child stars were theater geeks. Like we didn't play sports. We weren't at parties. We weren't even really in class like with normal friends because we were always like on auditions and going away. So he said he had like no friends. And then, but I'd have to imagine at some point when like you're all right. So now you're like 20 something and you blow up. It's probably even better that way. Who wants all your fame when you're 14? I'd rather take
Right.
it.
Well, and Kevin, if AC Slater was not like a real jock, then he deserves an Oscar because that
Mario Lopez, yeah.
a football star, wrestling star, like that guy is absolutely, he's the best actor on the planet. If he's
Who do you think? All right, take away Zach Morris. I think that'd be the consensus. Who's the coolest guy from the 90s?
Wow.
Actor wise.
Wow, that's tough.
Actor, host, anything on TV.
Not athletes and shit. Right?
Yeah, no, anybody on TV, like not athletes. Yeah, like a TV actor, host, whatever.
The 90s is a long time too. Like you got.
Yeah, it's almost like you could have a different answer for early 90s versus late 90s.
It would have to be Dylan from 90210.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good call.
He's dead now. R.I.P. Which one was that? Luke Perry.
Luke Perry, yeah, R.I.P.
Yep.
I mean, he was like leather jacket, motorcycle, taking girls' virginity. I think he had like a drug problem in high school, like as his actor. You know what I mean? He was.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch Party of Five? The kid Bailey on Party of Five. I feel like he was a cool guy too.
Mhm.
Oh, here's the video game. This is
My favorite game of all time. You can still play it online on your computer.
I liked Dodgeball. That was
Dodgeball.
This. I think it had like the same graphics and shit. Oh man, this is awesome.
God, dude, just regular Nintendo too.
Dude,
So perfect.
Just think, like, look at the games we used to play.
Yeah,
I think they're better. I think I sound like such an old man, and like I know graphics now. It's like you're playing real life, but this to me looks more fun than playing like when they become too realistic. It's almost like I don't know. It's like you're watching a movie instead. I like this.
Yeah.
It's much better.
I bought a PlayStation 4 at the beginning of quarantine. I've played it, like I've tried FIFA, I tried Call of Duty. I'm like, I don't like this, and I'm not good at it.
I know. Well, that's the thing, Chief. I think that video games are almost like real sports in the sense of like if you don't use it, you lose it. I think it's something about like your old brain. You pick up sticks, and it's like it does not compute anymore.
I think you're right.
I stink. I've lost. They keep track for you on FIFA. I've lost 10 in a row. Like I've tried to play against
when you were a kid, I could play any video game, and like maybe the first time I played it, I'm not gonna win it, but you get like the game.
Right.
Yeah.
This if you let me play Call of Duty or some shit now, I would be the old man, like ruining the game for people.
Bro, I played Call of Duty, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years ago on one of our streams or whatever, and I was just lost. I was completely lost. It was like, I don't know how to move this guy. I definitely stink at this. This is almost too complicated.
I remember you used to lose this game if you didn't jump correctly.
Oh, that's
I can't believe, by the way, that they're only on PlayStation 5. Like,
Yeah.
you would have thought that by now they would have like dropped do one every year to try to make more money. The fact that they like are only on the 5th one after, I mean, PlayStation 1 was
20 years ago, right?
25 years
Like
ago.
90, no, more than that. It was like 96, 95.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
God, the wall, man. What's funny is these graphics. You can just tell this is regular Nintendo. This looks like Tecmo Bowl. It looks like every other game from that same thing.
Those like little the square things there.
Oh,
like,
they
where I
fuck
mean, I
you.
feel like that was in every game. Like every time there was a block that you couldn't get through, they looked exactly like that.
Yeah. That's funny. But you know, it's funny. We look at these and we're like, yeah, what's wrong with this? This is great.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine if there's stoolies right now or like teenagers watching this being like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's like you used to play this shit.
Like I would rather die than even play this game.
Yeah.
I one time I took out an old Game Boy and I showed my daughter and she starts pressing the screen and I'm like,
I know.
I can't do that. And like
That's
telling her I couldn't
heartbreaking.
do that was telling her like, you know, you can't drink water or something. It just made no sense. She's like, why? Like, how is that not a thing? It was rough.
Are there modern Mega Mans?
Oh, I don't think so.
Ooh, let me
I
see. I'll
know
look that up.
I think there was like a Mega Man, like I want to say X that was maybe on SNES, but like why did that stop? I think Mega Man's the greatest video game series, like outside of Mario, maybe ever.
Man, what a game.
It's impossible not to love just Mega Man and just like the whole thought of having other powers and
Yes.
putting it onto your guy.
And when you
Um,
when you actually learned which powers to use on which levels, like Flash Man you use when you're beating Quick Man, and Crash Man beats Air Man, and all that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Yeah, I just thought of one other one though, by the way, coolest 90s. And for all of us, I think we all probably thought Sean Hunter was very, very cool. We wanted to be like Sean Hunter.
And Eric Matthews.
Eric.
Yeah.
Someone said it in the chat too, JTT back in the day. It was like the younger crew, you know, but it definitely.
How about Corey Matthews, like the late iterations of Corey Matthews, where he just became like a goofy kind of like he was like mentally challenged in the end.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he got married in college.
Yeah.
Like the dumbest thing you can do.
Do you
Like,
remember
get it, it's Topanga, but relax.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
You can marry her in college.
do you remember the storyline of Topanga wouldn't Corey was saying no tushy, no brushy. Topanga wanted to use Corey's toothbrush.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let her unless she showed him that ass. What a show me that ass and then you can use the fucking toothbrush.
In fairness, to use the same toothbrush, that seems like a fair trade.
Yo.
Like
anything to see Topanga's ass. Whatever. Dude.
Yeah.
She aged very well too. Shout to her.
Yeah. She's in like the Barstool world a little bit, right?
She's her husband was on PMT like today.
Right.
Wait, who's her husband?
I did an interview with her a couple years ago, but her husband is in the mix for sure.
Yeah.
Who's her husband?
He's like an author and he does a couple things. Like, it was a good interview. I'd check it out. I don't know if you guys listen to PMT or not, but yeah, he's like they introduced him as like an art collector. He does all kinds of different shit, but he's somehow like best friends with Roan. Like Roan was at his bachelor party.
Oh, that Jensen Kemp or whatever his name is, something like that.
But what was that? What level? What Mega Man was that? What is this?
Mega Man 11.
11.
PS4, Switch, PC, Xbox.
What? Those graphics were PS4?
Yeah, it looked like trash. It looked like a Sega.
I was gonna say, yeah.
They probably dumb them down for guys like us. So they're like, all right, it's the same gameplay.
PlayStation 4. No way.
I was gonna say I have PlayStation 4. I can literally put my face on my own player in NBA 2K. This is not the same.
There's no shot this is PS4.
Unless they just remade an old game and they just put the graphics. You know what I mean? Like they just
it over. He has a throwback.
I'll tell you what, I would respect that if they came out with like American Gladiators PS4 and it looked like Nintendo. That'd be the most bought game of all time.
If they did Duck Hunter instead of
Duck Hunter,
I would be very.
Do you remember the Olympics where you could totally cheat on the long jump?
Yes.
Where you just stand to the side. Oh yeah.
Did you ever have the power pad?
I had the power pad. Yeah.
Yeah, we had it. My neighbor had it.
That the power pad, the power glove.
Never had the glove.
Me neither. The glove. The only thing I know about the glove was the movie The Wizard.
The Wizard
with Fred Savage.
Yep.
Whoever the villain in that was a great 80s villain. But the power glove was like one of those things that I think when you got in real life was like, this is not worth it. Really, when you think about it, the Nintendo Zapper was a great piece of technology for the 80s. Like to just sit on your couch and fucking be able to shoot the screen, that was pretty cool for his time.
Yeah.
Ahead of its time. Well ahead of its time. And this is how people used to play. All the cheaters out there.
Yeah, on their hands. Yep.
That was it. That was it.
Because it was what, the 100-yard dash and the long jump, and then the triple jump.
The triple jump was tough. Yeah.
Yo, wasn't that dude in The Wizard? Was it Lucas?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Who actually, like, as I close my eyes, it looks to me in my mind like the bad guy from Harry Potter, the kid with the blonde hair in Harry Potter. I feel like they were like identical in my head. Those the power pad was like kind of cool because like if you were like athletic, it mattered. You know what I mean? Like my friends who were fast, who had good footwork, would just like be better at that game.
Right.
The Wizard.
Little spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen The Wizard.
Oh wow, yeah. This is when Super Mario 3 got released.
Like that was the prototype. That kind of looks like Connor, actually.
That does look a little bit
That was like the villain, and then like the retarded or the fucking idiot brother. He was so funny. I just remember he was going California.
California. Yo, I mean, all right.
Armageddon.
I'm going to say this because this is what I thought at the time when I was 5 or I don't know, maybe 7, 8, 9, whatever, however old I was when I first saw this. It was not a creepy comment, but the girl in the movie was a good looking girl.
Yeah, it's not weird because you were young when you said it, right? It's one of those things. Yeah,
yes.
Okay, Cons.
You want the creepiest feeling in the world right now? Has any of you guys watched Euphoria?
No.
I haven't watched it.
So, I mean, it is every actress is of age, but they're supposed to be playing high school kids, and they're all just having like full blown sex scenes. And I like my brain short circuits when I'm on. I can't watch it.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Didn't
I
they
was
Mario 3 on this? Wasn't it like not out and then like
correct.
Yeah, I was
it
going to
wasn't
say
out.
that. And when you got it, you knew all the cheats.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't remember the show at all.
What I was going to say was back when we were younger, I feel like they used to use older actors in their 20s to play teenagers, whereas now they play people who are actually those ages, play
They're
those actors.
still-
So,
they're
but no,
still
but
pretty
like,
far, though.
yeah. But what I'm saying is like we grew up, people looked older for us. So when you see, I think actors and actresses now in those roles, they seem super young.
Dude, I think people just looked older. I watched they had Notre Dame against West Virginia in 1988. They showed like the little headshot of the linebacker. He looked 45 years old. Dude, I think people just looked old as shit back then.
Everybody in college looks like they're 40 years old in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, it's a weird phenomenon.
Dude, the jump from Mario 2 to 3 was like Mario 3 was.
That was the game, man.
I mean, that was crazy.
I hated Mario 2. Do you know the whole story
Everybody
about Mario
did.
2?
I mean,
No. What do you got?
It was called Doki Doki Panic originally. So Mario 2, the original Mario 2 was it was just like Mario 1. And all the kids in Japan were like playing it and it was tough for them. And they're like, well, the stupid American kids can't play it. So they changed the game completely. And you end up getting this game, Doki Doki Panic 2. And this is what you get. You get this Mario game. And that's why it was completely different than all the other Mario games. Because they just changed it because the original Mario 2 was too hard for Americans.
wow.
It's kind of depressing, isn't it?
It's very depressing.
So the one on the left is what it would have
Is
been?
the original game. And this is so the one on the left is the original Doki Doki Panic. The one on the right is Mario 2. And then I'll show you the original.
Show me the one that was like too hard.
Yeah. Original Mario 2.
I never knew that. That's crazy.
That makes sense though. That like the look and everything just totally changed.
Yep.
I mean, how hard could it have? Like, what was the difference? Like the block.
You think they could have just made it easier, right? Just make the game a little easier and everything's the same. It's a fucking smash hit, right?
But so like that's funny that they never like the idea of getting the feather and flying and like all that shit was just like we're gonna turn you into a raccoon. That was never actually the plan. This looks like the same shit.
Two is the one that was completely different, and that was the one where you were picking up those little things and throwing them. This mushroom would kill you. It was like there were bad mushrooms and good mushrooms, right?
Oh, wow.
Like the brown.
Yeah, I think that's like a bad mushroom right there. If that guy gets it, he's gonna get fucked up from it.
So this is what it was supposed to be.
Yes.
Okay.
But this looks like,
It doesn't look all that crazy, right?
yeah, not crazy enough to like change the whole shit.
Right.
I hated the shit out of Mario 2, though. I hated the shit out of this game. The other one.
I never even had Mario 2. I only had 1 and 3.
My video game hot takes, I hated 007. I hated GoldenEye.
What?
What?
Because I'm
What's
terrible
wrong with
at
you?
it. Because I'm terrible at it. I kept finding I would always kill myself, and it was my least favorite thing.
All right, well that's different. Like
I refuse to play it. Like we have
that's
N64
fine, but
still.
Don't tell me it's like
My least favorite game.
it's not like it's like when I don't like The Sopranos, but I know it's not a bad television show.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
just it's my
really?
least favorite game. I hate
like
it.
Yeah,
I hate GoldenEye.
that's different. That's different than saying it's a bad game. Get out.
Did I say bad? I thought I said it's.
No, yeah, you're right. But I thought you were trying to say it's like.
Oh no. Like it's one of those like I completely understand it. I respect it.
Out of
Fucking hate it.
GoldenEye, Mario Kart, and what's the other one I love? The 4 I like are Super Mario, like Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye, and Zelda. How do you rank those, Clem?
Kart is my favorite like franchise ever. And I think that was the best Kart. So that's 1. GoldenEye 2. I wasn't a huge. I never got into Zelda. I just never did. So
Me
that's
neither.
probably That's probably last, but just because of that. But Ocarina of Time was sick. Like my brother, like I like played it, like trying to casually play it, and I was like, oh, you can't casually play this.
No,
game.
you got to be all
This game has to engulf your soul.
Played, like, any Zeldas?
No.
Wow.
But what the fuck is this guy doing here right now? There's different things popping up. He has the fire flower, then this thing pops up, then the bad mushroom comes up. I don't even know what's going on in this Mario 2
Maybe
right
that's
now.
what they were saying.
Were you guys Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
I'm
Both.
But
I'm
you
Street
can't.
Fighter.
You have to pick one or the other.
It's like Skittles and M&M's.
Yeah.
That's what I got in the house. I got my Street Fighter 2. It was like
Then probably Street Fighter. But I mean,
I liked the game overall better. I liked Street Fighter, but I certain like the pit and fatalities, like certain elements of Mortal Kombat are tough to beat. But I think that the characters in my mind of Street Fighter are better.
Yeah.
I think that Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Smoke, that whole line of characters, I think, are good. The rest, though, like I thought, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, all that, they didn't do it for me.
All right, which was the better shitty movie?
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was the better shitty movie.
I've had this blog in drafts. It's called Quarantine Time Waster. It's just 2 hours. It's every fatality ever because they're on 11 now.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you, fellas, this is the thing. Mortal Kombat, I feel like the artistic, you could tell where we are artistically based on where we are with fatalities, and they just keep getting better and better. But even back then, this was like the first time you saw Kano rip that dude's heart out.
Yeah,
like, oh shit! Like
when your spine, when he was holding your head with your spine connected to it, your How about remember like what were they called, babalities or whatever? We turned him into a baby.
Yes. Yes.
Where there was like the happy ones where like
friendship.
Yeah.
Toasty. And there was like, and then there was the pits and shit.
I think it was that Mortal Kombat did this thing where like they were like real humans in a video. You know what I mean? Like they were like animated. I thought the animations of Street Fighter were way cooler than like humans in Mortal Kombat.
Who did you guys in both Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat? Who did you usually play with?
My girl Chun-Li.
Yep, that's who I played with in Street Fighter.
Kick. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Clem.
I was Ryu, and I wouldn't even be Ken if I couldn't be Ryu. It was Ryu or Chun-Li, and then Mortal Kombat was Sub-Zero or Scorpion.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and then I was Blanca. Was it Blanca or Blanca? How do you pronounce his name?
I said Blanca.
Yeah, I was him or Ryu.
What was the point of making Ryu and Ken? Like, why were they like, let's just make two guys who are the same?
Right.
I bet it was like one of the dudes was just lazy and just like, just copy him, make him blonde, whatever. Yeah. He's a fucking.
I mean, I guess they kind of did that with the original Mortal Kombat. Did Scorpion, was he alone or was Sub-Zero in there too?
They were both there. Yeah. Reptile was like an unlockable character.
I played with Raiden a good amount. I thought Raiden was pretty cool.
Raiden was cool. Yeah, he was kind of my like third choice.
That's a really
Chief, were you a big video guy game? Because there's some things about you where I don't know. Our child, I feel like you had some things missing in your child. You're the Snap blog.
I didn't have Street Fighter at all. I don't like you're listing off these characters. I don't even remember who they are, but I definitely I was Sub-Zero, like almost 100% of the time. And then who was the guy who could like throw his hat and cut your head off?
Oh, right. Kung Lao.
Yeah, I think I used that guy too. Those are the only things that are sticking out. I was doing like a lot of NBA Jam and like.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in Super Nintendo, there was no blood. The drops were like wet. They were gray. Yeah, I would say out of all the fighting games, at least, well, not all of them, because I don't know how they ended up progressing throughout like my adulthood, but I think Scorpion's Get Over Here is the most like identifiable or memorable move. Actually, I take that back. I think Hadouken is probably the best.
Oh, that's a good point.
Hadouken is like, I feel like that's like part of pop culture.
Yeah.
There's a friendship, right?
No, you think so, not so fast, my friend.
Whoa, she just blew you up.
She gave him a kiss and blew him up.
There was some hot in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I think that, the Asian people are horny.
Oh, for sure.
Horny.
Yeah.
Not
time horny.
So Taking that, going back to American Gladiators, do you think that they could make hot American Gladiators now?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. Because I think now American Gladiators makes even more sense because, and this is again maybe getting a little niche. How many more people are into like functional fitness, like CrossFit and stuff, to where you're not like overly huge, roided out, but you're definitely in shape?
Because I feel like what worked for Gladiators was the roided out guy. Like,
yeah, but what I'm saying is now it works if you pick people who look fit and in shape, and I think there's enough attractive both men and women who could do that.
I'd like to see it be like guys like Tim Tebow, or like who's the fucking linebacker who always gets in trouble if he's like dirty?
Fontez Perfect.
Yeah, but like
yes,
Fontez Perfect, a gladiator. Like
his house is for sale here in Cincinnati. It's only 1.1 million, and it's a ridiculous looking house.
Yo, I'm about to say something. It just came to me. I'm about to say something that's going to be controversial, but this guy would bring eyeballs to the TV sets as the host. O.J. Simpson.
I knew you were gonna fucking say this. God damn it! You're right though.
Right?
I mean, yeah. He'd have to be the third host, right? Like you would need the actual host. He needs to be like Theismann.
I mean, he obviously has the experience.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He needs to be thought. He can't carry the show.
And here's the other thing. You put it on a channel where you don't have to censor it, and you just let the juice go.
Has he been hired for anything?
Excuse me?
Has he been hired for anything?
No.
Who's hiring him?
I don't know. I feel like people are into him on Twitter that maybe he can do like push products or something.
Yo, here's the thing about the juice. No one wants to admit that they're like, if they see a video posted, that they watch it.
You know who he blogs? He was going on a streak. His White Sox Dave was just blogging.
I mean, that tells you everything you need to know.
It's all over it. Because there is something where it's like, this guy, there's something about it. There's something about this guy, this charming guy who I know is a double murderer.
Right, like if you didn't know he killed two people, like he's very engaging. He has that charisma and that charm. You get why he was so successful after his career.
If you didn't know, you'd never know.
Yes.
You'd never expect him to be a murderer.
All right, Chief, here's a question for you. Or I guess you and Cons. You're fielding your gladiators for this specific event, arguably the greatest event, the Powerball.
Yeah.
You said you wanted a guy like Tebow, perfect. There was 4 gladiators out there, right? It's 4 on 2. Who else are you putting out there?
I'm not putting Tebow out there.
No. But I'm saying, like, obviously you're putting Perfect out there for that one.
Perfect's out there.
That's a good question. Wow.
Terry Tate, is he available?
Yeah, Terry Tate, office linebacker. I want that dude for sure.
I got my brain stuck in the 90s. Like, I want to say like Steve Atwater and Ronnie Lott.
That's fine. Do 90s guys too. Like, that's what we're on here.
I mean, Bill Romanowski. Like, that's, another one from the 90s. Like, those guys, like, that's my foursome.
Romanowski would definitely gouge someone's eyeballs out.
And I feel like Bill Romanowski, there's not much he wouldn't do for a paycheck, it seems like.
He's already doing the steroids required to be on American Gladiator.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Somebody said Steve Smith. That's a great call.
He's a scary guy.
I had a Steve Smith blog this week, and I said outside of Eastern European soccer hooligans, he's probably the first guy I don't want to fight.
Oh, actually, you know what? Who would have been great because he probably would have put people in body bags back in the 90s? Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah,
he's too big though. He's too big of a name for this.
Yeah.
When you're in WrestleMania, you're too big. You're gonna get that paycheck from Vince McMahon. By the way, do you know this is Gina Carano doing all this? She was crushed in the new American Gladiators and legit UFC. Do you guys remember the Gina Carano lip bite gif? That was, I think I might have had that on my computer at some point because it was
what gif?
Gina Carano lip bite. This is old internet days right here. So these are the ESPYs.
Oh. Wow.
God damn.
Wow. Do it one more time. Do it one more time.
We're gonna
play it back.
We're gonna play it back.
Christ. Put your dick away.
And the little giggle.
And I know
eyebrow raise.
It's the eyebrow that gets you. It's the eyebrow that gets you. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh! Can't be watching this in quarantine, fellas. Can't be watching this in
How
quarantine.
about pull up? Give me some Olivia Munn on the G4 network. She had a bunch of the hot dog gif and all that shit.
Yeah.
G4 was a weird ass channel, and they would let it fly. Olivia Munn is still, I mean, talking straight sex appeal. She is.
I've been rewatching New Girl, and she's in that, and she's just a freak in it. And I'm like, I got to turn this one off.
I think Olivia Munn is an absolute fucking freak. Even to do this, like a lot of people would be like, I don't know if I want to like have this gif out there forever. She's like, I'll just deep throat the hanging dog, no big deal.
I mean, I hear the name Olivia Munn. First two things I think of this, and I think of the picture with
if you say Olivia Munn, I say PowerPoint. That's
the
arrows pointing like, oh my god, you freak!
And just very proficient in Microsoft.
I know.
Yeah,
She makes great presentations. What even was this segment? I mean, no, she takes it down, bro.
And then the look. Oh my god!
That in her throat. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Here's what I'll say about Olivia Munn. For as gorgeous as she is, right? Wow, that's amazing. Doesn't she have a look to kind of say like she's attainable?
I knew it. I knew you were fucking she's attainable. I understand your point, but there is no world where this girl is attainable.
Yeah, right. Like, I get what you're saying, but there's still a 0.0% chance.
Bro, that is... I mean, you can
look at that.
Heather Brooks back.
Yo, how about you retweeted her?
Another email. Let me see if she wrote back.
Yo, the retweet you had, Kevin, of her wearing the Jordan saying I'm back. Like, I was like,
I don't know.
I'm in.
I don't know where I'm at with this. Like, I'm starting to feel a little bit creepy. Like, if the whole world is watching her return porn, and it's like she put some of my ideas into practice, that's gonna be, we're crossing a line here. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I used to have a fucking co-host as a porn star, so maybe.
Right.
Clem, complete side note here, Clem. Where do you rank on the pantheon of desserts and snacks the cannoli?
Number 1.
Wow.
I think cannolis are trash.
You're trash.
I mean, you are. You're trash.
I legit told my wife this week we're ordering from a specific place so I can get cannolis. Because there's one spot like around us that has the best cannolis in Cincinnati.
Juan, where you got it?
I don't know, man. I think it's a tough dessert
in the world. You really are such a terrible wop.
I am. I'm a Clemenza, right? And that's leave the gun, take the cannolis and all that shit. But you have to think. I don't think it has broad appeal. I like it. I love it. I had a cannoli cake at my wedding. It was cannoli filled.
We had cannolis at our wedding.
And I think cannoli chips was like a brilliant, efficient invention.
Dangerous invention.
I'll be honest. Right now, eating this, I feel, I'm gonna get Olivia Munn. I feel like I'm eating a fucking dick. But when you can just sit there and scoop it. Man, are we about to play Vince McMahon blowing up? Is that what's going on? What is this?
I just threw on a video in the meantime and NWO best entrance. I don't even know.
I mean, perfect.
That's right. I had it in slow motion for Olivia Munn. I was wondering why everything was moving so slow. Look at this squad they had back in the day too. Cool. God, I mean, we'll save this one for the wrestling TGIF here.
Yeah.
But,
the wrestling TGIF, we need to block like a fucking.
That might just be all day Friday.
That'd just be Friday, yeah.
Friday, you ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do. Come on, wrestling for 7 hours.
Yo, wrestling was just so prevalent for people our age.
Yeah.
It really was.
I mean, that's what made, I would say wrestling was really what set up half of these game shows, right? Like, does Gladiators get as big as it is without wrestling? I feel like they kind of go hand in hand.
The Worm.
Wow.
Was this in Chicago?
Oh, there he is. This is best entrance.
I wonder if this is like his when they do the Chicago entrance.
He was I was at this event, Bull Celebration in the AM, so they must have won the championship. Sox Cubs Interleague afternoon, NWO Monday Nitro at night. It was one of the best days of my life. Shout out Zumba Michelle.
One of the best days of my life. That's great. I gotta give a shout out real quick on Instagram. Anthony Santino, some stoolie. He does a Dennis Rodman impression that is just so fucking good. I just if you got any time on your hands, watch him do his thing.
Santino.
Yep.
Santino. Okay.
He just I never thought of the Worm as someone that's like really impressionable, but he just kind of like that like mumble talk, like
yeah.
I'm gonna fuck your wife. It's perfect.
Is he Cheeto
By the way,
Santino?
it really was sorry.
Cheeto Santino?
No, it's Anthony Santino.
Anthony
Santino is the comedian, but Anthony Santino, his latest video should be the impression. It really puts in perspective how big wrestlers are, because like the Worm is really not like towering over these guys, but
he's like a legit size too.
Yeah, well, he was 6'7".
This video is Arthur Shelby and Dennis Rodman. It makes no sense, but
I got it, Dennis. They want to serve it. They're waiting for a request. Don't you see? They don't offer me the pickle juice. They probably don't got it. Everybody knows the best possible garnish for French fries, pickle juice. Juice isn't a garnish, Dennis.
He kind of looks like Jersey sports fan.
Juice is juice.
Yeah. The Shelby.
Man, it's going to freak me out a little bit.
It is perfect. Things like that.
Terrible service in this pub. This isn't a pub, man. It's a TGI Fridays. We're the only ones in here because of quarantine.
It was so
Are you
good.
telling me the waitress is social distancing from us?
Oh, there's a fresh video too. He's talking quarantine and shit.
I know. Yeah,
that's exactly it, Arthur.
I've been
normal day to TGI Fridays.
Addicted to the Instagram filters with the puzzle games on the top.
Yeah.
By the way,
when I missed Tiger
why
Woods,
are you wearing the New York Mets?
I almost had a meltdown. I felt like I was like an athlete who like I needed to. I couldn't even like sleep that night. It was pathetic. Back to the fucking NWO.
Is that the most iconic like hand gesture of all time?
I mean, are we doing the chop?
Finger.
The chop?
Well,
it might be Wolfpack.
If you're talking like humanity, it's the middle finger.
That's what I'm saying. It's obviously the finger. Is it then? It's Wolfpack or the chop?
I think it's the chop.
I don't know. I became a Wolfpack guy by the end there.
I'm going after the middle finger. Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
I had a buddy in high school. He had a beer pong table with just a big shocker drawn on it, and it was the greatest thing ever. Meanwhile, we barely even knew what that was in high school.
Right.
But we knew it was great.
I've been live streaming for about 5.5 hours, so I think I'm going to tap out here and let you guys.
I think we're about to wrap it up ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. I'll catch you guys next Friday.
See you next Friday.
See ya.
Once we get to the NWO videos, you know, it's that time. I never know how we end up where we end up. God damn. So Robin had the parade that morning, and he had. I mean, I'd say he'd take a nap. He probably just like hood up.
No, he definitely didn't take a nap.
From there.
No.
Yeah, like
there's
no way.
He took a nap of something, I'm sure.
Yeah,
took a nap in August. God damn it! What a day! What a day!
I think what we'll do, Clem, we'll open it up on Twitter for what people want to hear next. We've done Guts. We've done Rock and Jock. Today was American Gladiators. Which American Gladiators was a vote. We'll open it up again. I can put out a poll. Submit your opinions or your suggestions to me, Barstool Reeks, Clem, the Clem Report. I know some people throw out like supermarket sweep, which is streaming now on Prime Video, which I've been watching because I'm definitely entering because they're rebooting. We'll do. I mean, we're gonna end up talking about random shit. We might have to do MTV next week. Carmen Electra's on the streets.
Just do old MTV shows.
We ended up a little bit on that last week.
Remember the old spring breaks cons? I know you remember those back in the day.
That was a very quick yes.
Yeah, those were great. Those were like, all right, I gotta get home. I gotta get home from school because I got shit to watch.
Exactly.
So we'll do one of those next week. And like we said, every Friday, 9:00 until quarantine ends. You guys like what you're doing or what you're seeing? Just keep shooting us suggestions. We'll keep running through stuff.
Keep going till the fucking quarantine ends, and then even more so.
Yeah, seriously. Cons, appreciate you hopping on, man.
Cons, see you on Wednesday night, baby.
All right.
No quitters.